What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the tower. And today I'm going to be going over all the card masteries again. But I just wanted to do an updated list. It's not really going to be a tier list. I'm just more going to discuss each card mastery and like where they're good and when you want to use them, how good they are, stuff like that. So starting off with damage. Damage is pretty good. It's just a 5x damage multiplier overall. It's pretty simple. That is at max level. It's definitely like better if you're a glass cannon, but it's good in hybrid still as well. Not quite as good as if you're on an EHP build, but yeah, if you use damage, it's definitely a good card. Yeah, it's pretty good option just for raw stats. Next up, we have attack speed. This card is actually not quite as good as it may look, just because how the game works. It does give you like 30% more attack speed, as you can see from the ability. But just the way the game works right now, if you're on like max game speed, you're really not getting that much value out of like a high attack speed, like over like 60, maybe even lower, over like 50 or something like that. The game can't like handle that high of attack speed when the game is running really fast. So you would have to lower your game speed to get the full value out of that. So if you do that for like a tournament or something, then yeah, it's a pretty good option. It gives you more chain lightning stuff, more projectiles overall. But yeah, if you do that, it's a decent option. There's definitely a lot better options though. Next up, we have health. For people at like my level, and like even if you're just running glass cannon and not using health at all, this has got to be a useless one, of course. But if you are using EHP, it is a pretty good multiplier. At max level, it's 3 times your total health, so that's just 3 times more EHP. With the way like, enemy attack scales, that is a pretty good amount. So yeah, if you're still on like a full EHP build or something like that, this could be a pretty good option just to like get you some extra waves. In the end, it's not gonna like help you once you switch to glass cannon. But I mean, EHP could come back. We never know. There's a future update. Next, we have health regen. This one's pretty similar to just the health. It is a lot of extra health regen. 4x at max level. I mean, that is really definitely good if you're EHP. But yeah, it's pretty much the same story. Once again, if you're not using health, if you're using a glass cannon, then it's really not going to help. It's pretty useless at that point. But yeah, this is super strong for farming, I would say, this one. Just if you're using like a wall fortification build. Could help you wall in like tournaments or something if you're like in Champion League. EHP is still viable in like the early waves of Legend League, but it's just not quite as good. Compared to the Health Mastery, I would say the Health Mastery is probably a little bit better just because, yeah, just base health is. Next up, we have the Range Mastery. This one's pretty interesting. It's only useful in some cases, and one of those cases is with Spotlight Plus. I think most people, like end game, have Spotlight Plus, and the extra damage meter is really vital just to give you the extra Spotlight bonus, I guess, from the Spotlight Plus. 3 times damage meter. So yeah, I mean, if you have Spotlight Plus, is a really good one for just to help that. And then also if you use projectiles, also really good with that, because that's the only other thing it affects besides Spotlight Plus. So. Yeah, those are pretty much the only 2 cases you would want it. But yeah, it is super strong in both those cases. So, moving on to cash. This one is really good, actually, for rerolls. I think a majority of my reroll drops come from Elite Style because of this card. Really good mastery for rerolls. And yeah, that's pretty much all it does. But, I mean, rerolls are super important in this game. So, I would definitely consider this like a sort of econ card, even though it's not, like, directly giving you coins. I would say like rerolls and like module shards are like kind of econ. They're a type of econ at least. Yeah, very good mastery if you want rerolls. Next we have coins. This one's kind of similar to damage, really simple. Just boost your coins. Should boost your coins by like 30%, it says, 1.3 times. It does increase it differently in your like active card stat in your like tier bonus. I don't know if it's trying to actually give you 30% because I don't think giving 1.3x more there would actually give you 30%, just because how the math works with all the other multipliers combined. So yeah, the number increases by 44 tier bonus. It goes to 1.89 from 1.45, which you can see. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I don't know the exact math on that, but it is a lot more coins. Definitely worth it. It's probably one of the best econ cards. Next up, we have Slow Aura. This one's decent. It really didn't affect stuff as much as I would think it did, like according to what the card says. So time delay between attacks is plus 50%. I think with this and the Nuke Mastery, the math works out to increasing for Rays specifically, and increases their charge time from 30 to 90 seconds. So one of them is additive, I think, and one of them is multiplicative. I think I don't remember if slower was additive, just because I mean it's the plus 50%. It could be. So yeah, it kind of with both of those, it's like 3 times. Stuff takes 3 times as long to attack. I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem to affect stuff as much as you like think it would, like just from reading the card. But it is still good. Time delay between attacks is always good, especially if you're dying to raise. This is a good one to get. Won't affect the other enemies quite as much, but yeah. Next up, we have crit chance. This one's probably one of the worst damage boosting masteries. There's a few of those. This is probably on the worst end, but I mean, damage is damage. It will still help. Definitely don't prioritize this one over a few of the others, so definitely worse than just the damage mastery. But yeah, I mean, it still does add a little bit. There's 10% to each of crit chance, super and super crit factor. But yeah, this is definitely one of the last ones I would go for, I would say. And yeah, similar to the other damage ones, it's not going to help you that much if you're just only using EHP. So, enemy balance mastery. This one is really, really good for economy, actually. It may not look like it, but the double elites are helpful in like many ways. 60% chance to spawn double elites. So that's like 60% chance for double the cells, pretty much. If you get scatters, that adds to your golden combo. That gives you a lot more kills on that, so you get more coin multiplier from that. So yeah, it's kind of an econ for both cells and coins. And then, I mean, the elites do drop coins themselves. It's not going to make that big of a difference, just the elite coins, but, you know, coins are coins. So yeah, that's a really good one for farming as well. The only problem is you can't really use it. Makes it, like, hard to use for tournaments and milestones if you're dying to elites. It's pretty much just you can't use it at all then, at that point. But I do definitely think it's worth it. Extra defense. This is also one of the EHP ones. This one's a little bit more specific for when it's good. It's not going to help for farming at all for EHP, but it will definitely help in tournaments a lot. So if you use EHP in tournaments, this is a really good option as well. I think it can probably give you like double the EHP, so it's not quite as good as like the health, like on average, I would say. Yeah, it's not going to help in farming just because it's not that hard to reach the defense cap in farming. But yeah, I mean, it's going to add up in tournaments. Like you get this mastery and like the health mastery, that's like 6 times the EHP already. And then you can get the second wind and then the regen one. Both multiply regen separately. So yeah, I mean you're looking at a lot of extra EHP stats from those. Next up we have Fortress, which is a pretty interesting one. It reduces your wall rebuild time. Max is 100 seconds. Wall rebuild is in a pretty interesting spot. I think it's underrated, especially for like EHP or hybrid builds. If you're using like stuff for your wall to regen and like using health, just getting that wall up as fast as you can is pretty important. So yeah, it's pretty nice there. For glass cannon, I guess it's just like gives you a little bit of thorns damage and just like an extra hit. Blocks a hit from raise if your wall's up. Yeah, more of a consistency thing there. Yeah, I don't even have this max yet, but I do think it is still a decent option. I think it's definitely lower on the priority list though. There's a lot more better options, I would say. Next up, we have free upgrades mastery. This one is pretty good. I would say it's partially quality of life instead of just like actually giving you stats. I really don't think more than like 3 or 4 is needed. I use 3. I don't even think I use all 3 of those. So I think I use 2 of them. The main thing I do is lock enemy attack, skip, and then range. Just lets you like set your stuff specifically while also being able to use free ups. So yeah, that can be really nice with builds where like some specific stats matter like that. But yeah, I don't think all 10 bands are necessary. But yeah, pretty nice still. So next up we have Extra Orb. This one's pretty interesting. Gives a 1.4x boost to coins from enemies that are hit by orbs. That is a pretty big boost, but it's a lot harder to make it work better on like lower tiers just because the enemies don't have armor. It's a lot easier for them to die. Something that makes this mastery really good is the damage limiter. If you're on like lower tiers and you want to just run like everything on like more AFK runs, just keep all your ultimate weapons on, stuff like that. You use the damage limiter to limit your damage so that enemies will always get to the orbs instead of you killing them too fast. So yeah, I think this master is a little harder to take advantage of compared to most of the other ones, but it's still pretty good multiplier if you can. Plasma Cannon mastery. This one's pretty good, I would say. It's mostly used for raise because I don't think for most people vampires and scatters really aren't that much of a problem. There are a few like end game things where scatters become a problem, but for the most part they really aren't. So yeah, on elites, it will get 27% of their health taken away from the plasma cannon, which is a decent chunk, especially for raise if you have like chain lightning plus at a good level. At max level, the Chain Lightning Plus will give you like 60% of their health, take off 60%. Then the Plasma Cannon Mastery would give you to 87%. So yeah, they would be left with barely any health after that. Pretty specific, similar to some of the damage masteries, but yeah, it's not like quite as big of an effect. Really good in that one specific case that I mentioned with the race. So, Critical Coin Mastery. This is probably one of the worst econ masteries. I think at max level, it's like a 10% boost to your coins. It is better than nothing though. I mean, all coin boosts are good. So yeah, if you're like working on econ masteries, I would probably take this one last. It will still help though. Just giving like basics a chance to drop 2 coins instead of 1, which is 100% at max level. The problem is there's not as many basics as there used to be with the Wave Accelerator Mastery, which I'll get into, and also the Intro Sprint Mastery. Next we have Wave Skip. This one's also econ. This one's a pretty good one. I would say it's on a similar level to Enemy Bounce, just how good it is. This one's purely coins, so sells if you get lucky, just with like a skip or something, but the more wave skips you get, especially if you're using like something like Black Hole Digester, you get more of a coin multiplier with that. Even without that, if you get like a golden combo, and then you get like 3 wave skips or something, you get it like 3 more times pretty much, just that entire combo you got. So yeah, it's just, you know, more wave skips, I guess. It's instead of 19% chance, it becomes around 30, a little less than 30, just like effective wave skip chance. So yeah, you'll be skipping like 30% of the waves. Intro Sprint Mastery. This one's pretty good. This one's probably like top 3 for econ masteries. And it's also good for tournaments. Partially like a quality of life mastery, feels like. At max level gets you to wave 1800. Super nice. Makes your farming more efficient. Any run's more efficient pretty much. You just skip the first 1800 waves. And yeah, it gets you to your max spawns faster for farming. And yeah, even though you won't miss a few coins, you usually don't have like your perks for like half the time that is going, so it really doesn't matter that much. Next up, we have Landmine Stun Mastery. So this one just gives a 25% chance for stunned enemies to miss their attacks. It's pretty much just like an extra way to avoid taking damage. It's pretty nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on bosses just because they can't be stunned. It should be able to work on all the other enemies though. So yeah, it's as long as you get like 1 stun on them, they have a 25% chance to miss their attacks. Pretty good for race, pretty good for just anything. Recovery Package chance is probably one of the best masteries in the game. Similar to like the Cash Mastery with like it being an econ, but like not like coin econ, it's a shard econ thing. This mastery is super good. It will give you at max level around like 1,200 shards of each type every day, just by having it on in max level, and as long as you're farming all day at least. So yeah, farming at like 6.3x speed. It's a lot of shards. Definitely worth it to get it going. It's probably the first one I would pick if I didn't have any masteries yet, as like an economy mastery. Super important for shard income. All right, on to the epics. We have Death Ray. This one is a pretty case specific as well. So yeah, the only thing it really does is pierces Protector's shield. It does also damage the Protectors itself, which is the important part. It works through Protector's ultimate, so if those are a problem for you, this is a really good one to get. But yeah, like I don't have Chain Lightning Plus, so this is like really important for helping kill Protectors for me. Because with Protector's ultimate, there's really no way to kill them besides pure damage or this. It's the only other like percent damage option you have with that. So yeah, if you have like Chain Lightning Plus like 10 or 11 though, it's probably not really worth it to get this, but that's a lot of investment in itself. So this is a good like kind of way to get out of that. Pretty nice. Also decent for farming because it can get rid of Protectors faster. That's probably like a tier 14 and up thing, I would say. Yeah, so yeah, if you're only like tier 14 and up, pretty good for farming just to kill the Protectors faster. And then anytime you're doing like maybe milestones with Protector's ultimate as well, that can help with that. Energy Net Mastery. This one's really good. Only for bosses though. It's not gonna help you with anything else. Purely for bosses, it's just a 20x multiplier for like 14.3 seconds. So yeah, it multiplies the damage you deal while it's in Energy Net, and then for 10 seconds afterwards. And it's kind of hard to take advantage of it sometimes. Just if you're running like a super high range, it's kind of hard to take advantage of it with like smart missiles. But like Chain Lightning and Poison Swamp do a pretty good job. But yeah, once it runs out, it's not gonna like do anything for you. So next up we have Super Tower Mastery. This one's still really good as a damage mastery. This one's super good if you don't really have the coins to upgrade any like masteries. This one's really good even at base level. I think like more than half the value probably comes from just the unlock itself, because you're already at like 33% uptime with the extra damage multiplier. And then all the mastery, I'm gonna just give it more consistency until you get to max level, which it doesn't have a cooldown. And then you just have 100% of the time you just have this extra damage multiplier. It also works on, I think one big reason it's good is because it works on spotlight bonus as well. I don't think it would quite be as good without that, but yeah, it works on spotlight bonus, so your ultimate weapons and the spotlight bonus kind of work together with the extra multiplier, and it makes it like a lot bigger than it would look otherwise. Second wind mastery. This is the last EHP mastery. This one's super good for health regen, because at max level it will give you 10 times the health regen, which is actually a lot. I didn't actually know it did that much before now. I just had to check and see if how much it actually gave. But yeah, that's a really big health regen multiplier. The only issue is you need to have the lab for the second wind recharge max to get the value out of that. That's like the only other requirement, but yeah, I mean, that's really good otherwise. Should be like 30 times the health regen with the multiplier from the other one, just the base health regen card. Not gonna help for glass cannon at all, just full EHP and then or hybrid. Next we have demon mode, which is kind of works similar to the second wind. For the full value, you need the lab for the recharge. Pretty similar to the damage card, gives you just a 6x damage multiplier for 300 waves. But yeah, I mean, you need the recharge because once if you don't have that maxed, this would run out and you wouldn't have the demon mode ready to go again or like automatically activate for the multiplier. So yeah, I mean, if you have that, this is a little bit better than the damage card just because of the numbers. 6x is just gonna do a little bit more. Yeah, so it's pretty solid mastery. Energy shield mastery is decent. Pretty much gives you a way to like not lose 2 energy shields like right at once. The only exception to that would be Protector's Ultimate. If that gets like on your tower, you could pretty easily lose multiple there. But outside of that, it's gonna be hard to lose 2 at once. Pushes everything back. At the max level, it's really far. It pushes back super far, like way past your tower range. And then it also resets raise if those are a problem. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, but I mean, I think the damage multipliers are still better, like demon mode and like damage. Yeah, I don't think this one's quite as good for EHP just because energy shield's not really as important, but yeah, it's still nice. Next we have wave accelerator. This one's pretty good. This one's super good for farming. It makes your spawn rate, like how much it accelerates, faster. So normally your spawn rate maxes at 56 on wave 6,500, just in a normal tier, not like tournaments. But with this max rate max, it will max them at 3,250 waves. So it's half that. Like I mentioned before, it synergizes pretty well with intro sprint, just making farming more efficient, just getting you to that max spawn as fast as possible, just increases your coins per hour a lot. And I guess the good part about this, compared to the EB mastery, is you can run it in like tournaments if you want. I mean, more enemies can sometimes be bad, but sometimes it can be neutral, even good in some situations. So yeah, you have more freedom with that. Yeah, super good for econ. Berserker mastery. I think this is probably the biggest thing I was wrong on in my mastery tier list back in October. This mastery is like vital for glass cannon. If you want to get into glass cannon, you're still like hybrid and you want to fully commit to the glass cannon, definitely get this. This will help you a lot. It's probably the most important mastery for getting into glass cannon. I would say for farming, it gives me at least like 1,000 waves, and then tournaments gives me like, depends on my RNG, but it can give me like up to like 200 waves. Same thing with farming, like the RNG aspect. But what this does, it gives you, it like uncaps your berserker when you get a death defy for a certain amount of time. Max is 300 seconds, which is the same length as a demon mode. So it's pretty much whenever you get death defy, it's pretty much just giving you like a free demon mode. It's not like guaranteed, but most of the time it is. You can still die like in the transition, like right after you get it. Specifically like for like a boss or something that doesn't take full thorns damage. The death defy is not gonna like push the boss back like the energy shield would with the mastery. So it could probably get a shot off pretty quick if you don't kill it in time. But yeah, most of the time, it's pretty much just a free 300 seconds of your energy shields charging back up. You're just killing everything. It's super unlikely that you would take a hit during that. I think I've seen it like a few times, like once or twice. But even in like the all the time I've used it, it's super unlikely. It's just so much more extra damage. It's around like 52 times damage compared to like the 8x. So yeah, I mean that much damage is just gonna kill everything pretty much if you're still alive. So yeah, this super good mastery, extremely important for glass cannon. And we give you a lot of extra waves if your damage starts falling off. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, it's RNG based still, just from Deathify. Unfortunately, it's not that good for EHP though. Not quite as much as for hybrid, but yeah, you're not really getting that many Deathifies for either of those. So next up, we have Ultimate Crit. This one's also really good. I think right now in my farming, my critical factor is like 380 times. So it's pretty much like doubling your chance from 3 to 6.33% to deal like 400 times extra damage for me at least. So yeah, I mean, I would assume most damage that I deal comes from like Ultimate Crit. I mean, that would go for everybody. I mean, that's just like 400 times the damage is so much. Yeah, just increasing more than double, increasing the chance of you getting Ultimate Crit. So it's really good consistency. I think it's pretty underrated. No one really talks about it. I think this is definitely probably top 3 for your like extra damage multiplier masteries. Could even be top 2. I'm not sure. But yeah, really good one as well. Lastly, we have Nuke. This Nuke's super similar to Slower. Back when I talked about that, I think Nuke might be the one that is multiplicative. So this one might help a little bit more. Since the Slower said plus 50%, this one just says 50%. So I think Nuke would apply first, so it would go to 60 seconds for raise, starting at 30 seconds. And then the Slower would apply plus 50%, which would be 30 seconds again, going to 90. So yeah, I think that's how the math works there. Yeah, I mean, it's the same story as Slower. It's pretty good for attack speed, for mostly used for raise in my case at least. You could also could be for ranged enemies. Kind of doesn't give them as much time to shoot if they're in line. Maybe also like bosses during like Thorns battle condition if you don't have the energy shield mastery, because they wouldn't get pushed back then. Yeah, a lot more time between attacks for that maybe. But yeah, this one also is similar to Demon Mode and the Second Wind, where you need the cooldown. You need the cooldown lab maxed, so you get it back right when that attack speed slow ends. But yeah, I mean, if you have all those labs, then they're all good then. They're all super good. And luckily the labs aren't too long or too expensive, so they're not too hard to get done. So yeah, that wraps up my card mastery, I guess updated card mastery video. I didn't really want to do a tier list since it's kind of hard to put them on a tier list over each other, since a lot of them are a pretty similar level. I think it's just better to just discuss like where they're good and like what they do and stuff like that. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave those in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. And yeah, see ya.